Hey YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back. Today we are doing a digital bug deck profile for the May 2024 format. So this deck hasn't received any, sort of support in a little while. Last noting being Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge, I believe it was, with the spider cards. But I do love this deck. It's rank 3 typically. Link climbing deck. It does have a rank up spell. In a way, it's a rank up spell that helps you go into other higher ranked, or you can rank down with it. Insect Xyz monsters. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to get straight on into it just so save a little bit of time. We'll start with the main deck here, starting with 3 Digital Bug Registrider. So I will let you know that a lot of this deck is just generic level 3 insect extenders, but there is probably, I want to say maybe like 7 or 8 digital bug monsters in the main. So Registrider is our best one. He's the most recent card that we had gotten for the archetype itself. So he can't be used as XC material except for the summon of an insect monster. And then if you normal summon a level 3 insect monster, you can special this card from the hand, and then you can make both this card and that card either levels 5 or 7. So you can go straight into your Corbage, or you can go into the Rhinoceros, I think is how it's said, if you don't want to go Scaradiator or Cicada King or something. And then if this card is special summoned, you can change the battle position of an insect monster you control. I think it's special summoned from the hand though. Yeah, if it's special summoned from the hand, you can change the battle position of one insect monster you control. And then an Xyz monster that was made, that was summoned using this card's material gains 1,000 attack and defense. So do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe if you detach this, since it was already summoned with it, it doesn't need to be as material per its effect. It'll still have 1,000 more attack and defense. This card's really good. It's an extender and a normal summon if you have to, but normally it's just an extender. For the next digital bug card, we're running 2 digital bug web solder. So our little spider friend here is adorable. So he also cannot be used as XC material except for that of an insect monster. And then you, once per turn, you can target a face-up monster you control, a face-up attack position monster you control. Change it to defense, and if you do, special summon a level 3 insect monster from the hand in defense position, and then an Xyz monster summoned using this card's material gains the effect that the defense of all face-up monsters your opponent controls becomes 0, and all their monsters are switched to defense position. I do believe Centipede is the one that allows piercing. If you put those 2 under this, it's pretty crazy. Under a Scaradiator, it's pretty crazy. Or even Cicada King, because it's still an insect monster. It doesn't say it has to be a light insect Xyz monster made with it, just an Xyz monster. For the next card, we're running 1 Centipede here. I'll put him in the middle. He also has restriction, can't be used except for the Xyz summon of a light insect, of an insect type monster, Xyz monster. And then if he is changed from attack to defense position, he summons a level 3 insect type monster from the deck in defense. And then an Xyz monster summoned using him as material can attack. Oh no, he attacks all defense position monsters your opponent controls once each. Which is really good. These 2 cards let you just clear your opponent's board if the effects on summon go through, which is great. Centipede's a little bit harder to use unless you're seeing a bunch of Dream Cicadas or even Web Solder. Because you can normal this, change it to defense, and then you can summon this out, but then you'd still need Dream Cicada to switch to defense. Or even Registrider. But Registrider would have to be on the normal summon. It's not when you special summon one from hand. Next, we're running 1 Cocoon Denser and 1 Ladybug, or LED bug. So Cocoon Denser lets you go ahead, and if it's an attack position, you can target a level 3 insect type monster in the grave. Change this card to defense, and then special that monster in defense position. And then an Xyz monster summoned using this card's material gains the effect that if it attacks a defense position monster, your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated until they enter the damage step. That summon add or effect add isn't really the greatest. It's not the most useful, but it's there. It's okay. Mainly going to use this if you see it for follow-up after you've already made Xyz monsters and like Cicada King and Scaradiators and whatnot, or linked off. After that, though, we have the Ladybug, which once per turn, when this face-up card's changed from attack position to a defense position, you can add a level 3 insect monster from your deck to your hand, and then an Xyz monster that was summoned using this card on the field as Xyz material gains its effect. When it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw 1 card. It's summon affecting part, or I don't even know what you would call that. The effect of it that adds to the Xyz monster is okay. It's not incredible. Mainly just something, if you see it in Registrider, you just get to add something for next turn, or even another extender that can summon itself. So you already have 2 level 3s, and if you can get another 3, or even you can search the Cocoon Denser link off for like a Bee Trooper Armor Horn. Normal summon this, effect, target itself, switch to defense, summon this with the Registrider back, and then you can make Cicada King. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do stuff in this deck. There's a bunch of level 3 insects. That's their thing. There's just a bunch of them. After that, that's actually it for the digital bugs in the main deck. After that, we're going on to the best normal summon, in my opinion, for digital bugs, which is Galaxy Worm. So it is a level 3 light insect effect monster, and if it's normal summoned while you control no other monsters, you can special summon a level 3 or lower Galaxy effect monster from the deck, but negate its effects. He is better, in my opinion, than Scout Buggy for the sole fact that he is a light insect if you want to go into Scaradiator. But there are some implications where you're not going to get the effect off because you control other monsters. It just happens. This deck needs a lot of support, honestly, to be able to be very well played, or played very efficiently. After that, we're going to go on to the Spider Engine here. So we're running 3 Mother Spider Splitters. She's a level 5 Dark, and you can summon her from the hand if you control no monsters, special summon. You contribute her, and then you can't summon from the extra deck the rest of the turn except Xyz monsters, and then special summon up to 3 baby spiders from your hand and or deck, and if you do, their levels are 5, and they can't be used as material for an Xyz summon except for a dark monster. So you're locked into Xyz, and you're locked into dark monsters with those ones, at least. And then you can only use each effective Mother Spider Splitter once per turn. She's great. The only thing that's bad about the Spider Engine is opening multiples of stuff, because they're dead cards. I mean, you can normal summon our next card here, which is Baby Spider, which is what's summoned off of our Spider Splitter. You can normal summon this because it is a level 3, and you can summon Registrider that way. But your main goal is to only see the Mother Spider, and then summon all 3 of these. So you can tribute a dark monster, increase the levels of all baby spiders you currently control by the level of the tributed monster. So if you summon all 3 of these out and tribute 1, they're going to become 10s. And then you can pay half your life points, banish this card from the grave, and then detach 1 material from a dark Xyz monster. From your dark Xyz monster, you can't do it to your opponent, and then target a dark monster in the grave as cost, special summon it. You can only use each effect of Baby Spider once per turn. So this card's really good for something I'm going to be showing you here at the end. I might see about doing a test hands video to show you. Actually, I'll probably do a test hands video on this, just because this is a multiple card combo deck where it needs a couple insects to make a board. So I'll probably go ahead and do that for you guys. But this engine is incredible. It adds a lot to the ceiling of this deck. You can link these off. Oh no, you actually can't. If you normal summon it, you can link it off. But if Mother Spider summons it, you can't link it off because you're locked into Xyz monsters. Now for our next extender, we're running 3 Bee Trooper Scale Bomber. this card's really good. If an insect is normal or special, you can special this card from your hand, except during the damage step. And then when a monster your opponent controls activates its effect, quick effect, you contribute one monster, insect monster, destroy it. So you contribute itself. You can only use each effect of Bee Trooper Scale Bomber once per turn. Now this is a card I'm contemplating dropping down to 2 though, just for a Dream Cicada. Because this is once per turn on summon. Dream Cicada is 2. I'm not currently running it, spoiler alert. But I do like this card for its utility. If you see this and you can get the Cicada King or Sciradiator or even do the Spider Line stuff, you can go ahead and keep this on the board and have a pop interruption, basically a Ghost Ogre on a monster, which is really nice and really useful for this deck because it struggles getting rid of stuff. For our next, honestly, in my opinion, this is probably the best insect extender that we have. During the main phase, you can special this card from your hand. Also, you can special summon from the extra deck the rest of the turn except insect monsters. That's okay. And you can only use this effect of Battle Wasp, Twin Bow the attacker once per turn, and then it can make a second attack during each battle phase. That's super short and sweet. For modern card decks, this and Galaxy Worm are very clear. They're not very convoluted. Unlike the digital bug cards, those can be a little to wrap your brain around. But this card's really good. I love seeing this card going first because you're never going to make Zeus going first. But if you see this, you can sometimes try to make a Cicada King and Sciradiator. Granted, this will have to be used for Cicada King because Sciradiator requires lights. But need I say anything more about it? He's pretty incredible. Proceeding on to some non-engine, we've got 3 Ash Blossom in the main. Just helps keep your opponent from touching the deck. They can't add a card, they can't special monster from, and they can't send a card from the deck to the grave. It's really good. Honestly, I see people contemplate saying and argue saying that Ash needs banned. I could be behind it if the notion was a little bit stronger, but it's just so generic. It tries to give you a fighting chance against certain cards, like really strong cards that decks have. So I like it. I hope it stays around for a while. And then we're running 3 Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill in here. If I had extra imperms, I would definitely just swap these for imperms. But this card's still good nonetheless. Your opponent special summons a monster face up except during the damage step. You can discard this card, target one of those face-up monsters and negate its effects until the end of the turn. And then if that monster leaves the field, that face-up monster leaves the field this turn, its controller takes damage equal to the original attack that it has. And then you can only use each effect once per turn. So, that effect once per turn. So, Ash Blossom, all the Ghost Girls are hard once per turn. So you can only, if you see 2 of these, unfortunately you can only use 1. They are level 3, so you can normal summon them. But your extenders require insects, which kind of sucks. But it is what it is. I mean, we're playing a pretty outdated deck, so anything that we have, I'll try to run with. Next, for hand traps, we're running 3 Effect Failure, basically just a worse imperm. It's only during the opponent's main phase. You can pitch it, send it from the hand to grave to target a face-up monster your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of the turn. Super old hand trap, but still very relevant. Running 2 Honest. This card is very funny. I love it a lot. You're never really going to normal summon this and then bounce it back to the hand. You're not going to use that effect at all, pretty much at all. But during the damage step, when a light monster you control battles, quick effect, send this card from your hand to the grave. That monster gains attack equal to the attack of the opponent's monster it is battling until the end of the turn. It's funny. You make Zeus, you swing at something really big that you normally is unaffected or something, you Honest, you get rid of it, and then you just Zeus away the rest of the board, and then they're left with absolutely nothing. I love doing this, using this card against people when they don't know you have it, or they don't expect it, because it's a battle hand trap. No one's gonna run it. Joke's on you, I am. After that, we're going to move on to the spells here. Just running 1 Call by the Grave as the 12th non-engine here. You target a monster in the opponent's grave, banish it, and then if you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects of on the field of monsters with that same original name. Card should be banned. I mean, it's too good. In a hand trap format, though, we kind of need it, or it's the game's unplayable. For our rank up spell, I'm running 3 of them. You could definitely cut this to 2 if you didn't want to run 3. So you target an insect Xyz monster you control, and you special summon from your extra deck an insect monster that is 2 ranks higher or lower than the monster you control, using it as materials, using it as Xyz material, and it is treated as an Xyz summon, and you attach everything on that monster that you're overlaying onto the new monster. And then you can only activate 1 bug signal per turn. I love the artwork on this card because it's just Ladybug just like lighting up, and it's like pew! It's like running down the lane. It's like the motherboard. It's really cool. This card is good. Sometimes you'll open 2 of it and it's terrible, but it is what it is. We can't really do much about it. To get into our big monsters, we can try to use Irradiator effect, but it's a little hard to get that off because he has to destroy something by battle, and then you can detach 2 materials and then summon the Corbage, and then 2 materials summon the Rhinoceros. Registrator just lets you go straight for Rhinoceros or Corbage, and then this can help you just downrank from those after you've used their effects and you don't want to keep them. And then for traps, running 2 Bug Emergency. This card is great. I love the artwork on it. It's really silly. So you target 2 level 3 insect monsters in your grave. You special summon them, negate their effects, and then that's it for that act. The on-field effect, and then you can banish this card and an Xyz monster from the grave. The levels of all level 3 insect type monsters you currently control become equal to the banished monster's rank until the end of this turn. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except insect monsters. You can only activate 1 Bug Emergency per turn. So you can use the flip up effect on your turn and the banish in your turn, because you can only activate 1. You're just using the effect when it's in grave. There's just a clarification. If anyone here is a newer player and you're just looking for a really fun budget deck, this deck isn't expensive whatsoever. You could pick up the whole thing minus the hand traps, because you could play whatever you want. You want to run more digital bugs, you can run more digital bugs. You want to run more insect extenders, you want to run 3 Dreamy Cicada, or you want to run Scout Buggies too, you can go ahead and do that. You can run 3 Bug Emergency. This is just my build, guys. You all probably know that. This is not any sort of competitive deck, but it is very fun. Now that's it for the main deck here. We're going to go ahead and move on to the extra. Now the main is a 40 even. For the extra, we're running 1 Picofalena, Inzektor Picofalena. So it just takes 2 insect monsters, and then if it's Link Summon, you can discard a card and target another insect you control. Equip 1 insect monster from your deck to that monster as an equipped spell, and it gains the effect, or it gains 500 attack and defense. And then the effect you're normally going to use is target 3 insects into the grave, shuffle them into the deck, and then draw 1 card. And you can only use each effect of Inzektor Picofalena once per turn. This card just tries to help you keep going with the game. It can put back your extra deck monsters. It can put back your main deck monsters. There are a lot of things that this deck can do. This card can do for the deck, and it's just really good utility. Next, we're running 1 Armor Horn. So Bee Trooper Armor Horn takes 2 insects as well, and then you cannot special summon except for insect monsters. You can only use each of the following effects of Bee Trooper Armor Horn once per turn. During the main phase, immediately after this resolves, you can normal summon an insect monster, and then if this card's in your grave, you can banish 3 other insect monsters from your grave. Special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So if you want to, you can go ahead and get this back to go ahead into our next 2 monsters. I'm just going to drop them at the same time. We have a Traptrix Adipus and a Giant Bee Trooper Invincible Atlas. So going over Adipus first, she's an insect link monster. Thankfully, she's not a plant. She takes 2+ monsters, including an insect or a plant, because of Traptrix. They're both. This Link Summon card's unaffected by trap effects. All Traptrix monsters you control gain 1,000 attack while you have a normal trap in your grave. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls up to the number of insect and plant monsters you control. Negate their effects until the end of this turn. Then you can apply this effect. Banish a normal trap from the grave, and if you do, destroy one of those targeted face-up cards. This card is really good, but it's not, doesn't come up very often. I haven't made it yet since I've changed this list to include it, but it is really good, and it's also a reason why if I had imperms I would run it, because it'll give me a trap engrave more often than not, that if this is on the field I can try to pop one of those cards that I want to negate. And then Giant Bee Trooper Invincible Atlas is pretty much just a big towers for us. So the Link Summon card, this Link Summon card, while it has 3,000 or less attack, can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects and can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And then you can special summon, you cannot special summon except insects, and then you can tribute one insect monster to activate one of these effects to either special summon a Bee Trooper monster from the deck, or this card gains 2,000 attack until the end of this turn. The only insect Bee Trooper monster that we're running in the deck is that Scale Bomber, so most of the time you're going to use it just to get over something really big. 5k is big. 5k is really big, guys. And then, granted, he's probably going to die afterwards because your opponent's going to be like, oh, I can target it now, so let's use all my target cards to try to pop it, because this can be a problem. This can be a big problem for people. The only thing that would make this greater is if it was a light monster and you could honest with it. That would be incredible. Oh my goodness. That's it for the Link monsters. Moving on to the XCs here. We'll put this here. The XCs here. We're running 2 Cicada King. So this is the one you're going to go into most of the time. He is just 2 level 3 monsters. If the battle position of this card is changed, you can special summon an insect monster from your hand or grave in defense position. And then when a monster on the field activates its effects, you can detach 1 material from this card, target that monster, negate its effects, then make 1 insect monster in the field either gain 500 defense or change the monster's battle position. And then you can only use each effect of number 3 Cicada King once per turn. This card's really good. This is one of the stall cards that we put on our end board. Registrider under this makes it 3,500. Defense and 22 attack, so it makes it pretty big. It can get over a lot of stuff, and it can get over hand traps at that point too. If your opponent doesn't have anything and they have to start setting hand traps, the Ghost Girls have 1,800 defense, so at 22 you can clear it. For a one of, we're only running 1 Sciradiator. Unfortunately, Cicada King is better and easier to make because Sciradiator requires 2 or more level 3 light insect monsters. So once during either player's turn, you can go ahead and detach 2 materials from this card, target a monster your opponent controls, change the monster's battle position, and if you do, its effects are negated until the end of this turn. And then once per turn, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the grave, you can attach that destroyed monster to this card as Xyz material. So after you make it and you get the effects of your little guys, if you get to use any of your digital bug monsters, and you detach, you switch something to defense, and you swing at it, then you can go ahead, you'll get to attach it, and then the next turn, the next time you swing at something, you'll get another negate again. So it just takes 2 turns, unless you have, which one was it? Centibit? Centibit was the one that if you attack, it can attack all defense position monsters. So if you swing at 2, then you can go ahead and you'll get 2 materials in 1 turn. After that, for a dark rank 5 insect XCs that I'm running for the spider package, I'm running 1 Exostag. And I'll put down the Corbage right now too. So Insector Exostag, he just requires 2 level 5 insect monsters. Then once per turn, you can detach material from this card, target 1 monster your opponent controls or in their grave, equip that target to this card. This card gains attack and defense equal to half the original attack and defense of the monster equipped to this card. So Exostag is really good. This card comes up, and this card comes up a lot. So if you want to make this deck, this is a definite you must run. None of these cards in the extra deck so far are very expensive. I'm pretty sure all of them would have listings on TCG Player at 50 cents or less. May not be like the rarities that I'm using. Like, oh, actually, Cicada King's probably the most expensive card in the main and extra, excluding like your hand traps and then 1 other card. He's probably the second most expensive card in the deck. If he's still expensive, now that I'm looking at the rest of the cards, probably not. So just disregard that guy, sorry. So Extra Stag's really good at getting rid of stuff. The only thing that would make this card better and even insane to that extent would be if this was a quick effect. Being able to quick effect steal something or from the grave that they're trying to summon or shuffle back or something, or snatch steal, like pretty much just equip something, that would be incredible. But it is only ignition, so only on your turn, unfortunately. For the other rank 5 are running 2 Corbage. You could definitely cut this to 1 if you want to, but he requires 2 level 5, 2 or more level 5 light insect monsters. And then you can also Xyz summon this card by detaching 2 materials from a rank 3 or 4 insect Xyz monster you control. Then using that Xyz monster as the Xyz material, transfer the attached materials of that card to this new card. And then once per turn, you can detach material from this card, target 1 defense position monster your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck, and then once per turn, if the battle position of a monster on the field is changed, except during the damage step, you can attach 1 insect monster from your grave to this card as Xyz material. This card's actually really good. So if you have, Web Solder, and you make Scaradiator, and then you can rank up Scaradiator into this, you can actually start doing some stuff, because Web Solder is going to switch everything to defense. You can go ahead and put something back, and then if the battle position of something's changed, say you have Cicada King, and you negate something, or you haven't normal summoned yet, and you normal summon Cocoon Denser, use the effect, switch to defense, summon 1 back, you're going to get the effect to go ahead and attach 1 back from grave. So whatever, you're going to be able to get another material back on this card. This card's really good. You could definitely cut it to 1. It's not that good that you have to run it at 2, but I do like it. For the last Digital Bug monster, we are running it at 2 as well. It's Digital Bug Rhinoceros. So he requires 2 or more level 7 light insect type monsters. And then you can also Xyz summon him by detaching 2 materials from a rank 5 or 6 insect type Xyz monster you control. Using that monster as material, and the attached materials become attached to this card. And then if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflicts piercing battle damage to your opponent, and then once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, destroy the face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest defense, all if tied. So it's not your choice if tied, it's all if tied. This card's really funny for that. I understand why it's focuses on the defense part, because a lot of them, they like to switch to defense position, so it checks the defensive stuff. But it would be better if it was attack. For the last 3 cards in the extra deck, we're running 1 Ravenous Tarantula and 1 Pain Gainer for the spider package. So you go into this, and then by tributing one of the babies, you overlay the other 2 into this. Then you go on this on top, and then you banish the baby, pay half your life points, and then you detach this, summon this back, and now you have 2 pretty big bodies, and you're at 4k life points, so these are both 4k attack. Yeah, it's really good. I like the option to use it. It does come up. If you see Mother Spider Splitter, you are going to be using that, unless you absolutely need the Extra Stag instead. But these 2 cards, I think this one is also pretty expensive right now, because this one wasn't reprinted in the Battles of Legend Chapter 1 thing. I don't know why. The other 2 were, number 77 and Pain Gainer were, but Ravenous wasn't. And then, last but not least, 1 Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder. Don't really need to... I probably don't need to explain this card. If an Xyz monster battled this turn, you can overlay him on top. The materials of all that becomes attached to him, just kind of like these rank ups are for these guys, the digital bugs. And then you can detach 2 materials as a quick effect, go ahead and send all other cards on the field to the grave, and then if another card you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can attach 1 card from your hand, deck, or extra deck to this card as material. Really good. The deck does need it. Like I said, this is a light, and it's your biggest light in the extra deck, so you can go ahead and honest with this, which is really, really funny, because you're getting swing for 3k. You're going to gain whatever the attack is your opponent has, and you're going to deal 3k. Yeah, but anyways, guys, that is it for the deck profile. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any suggestions or any other tips or card recommendations that would be good in here, please let me know. I do like this deck, and I'm trying to fine-tune it as best as I can to make it as playable and efficient as possible. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Again, if you did enjoy the video, a like would be appreciated. I'm still trying to grow the channel. And subscribe for future content. I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.